but that's kind of to be expected.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
but pretty good, I'd say.
we'd love to hear it. Anyways, Joe, you have become the newscaster of the century.
Oh, wow.
And now it is your job to tell everyone what's going on in the world around them, around the globe, maybe. How's the weather doing? Please take it away.
Okay, I will. In national news, demand for food banks has increased over the past year as more and more lower income families are hit with the effects of inflation. However, trouble along the supply chain has made it difficult for food banks to meet that demand. Food donations have gone down and grocery stores have gotten more efficient, leaving less extras to go to food banks. Many foods, such as pasta and cereal that used to be easy to find in food banks, have been getting harder and harder to find. In Jersey news, a group of Amazon workers staged a walkout yesterday in Belmar, New Jersey. The Belmar location is set to close by the end of the month, and the workers were originally promised new jobs at a facility 11 miles away, but many had been transferred to other further facilities. In order to make up for it, they are demanding that they are allowed to keep their current work schedules and that they receive a raise to help with the cost of the commute. An Amazon spokesperson said that all of the employees from the Belmar location are being offered jobs in 5 different sites within 9 miles of the location. And finally, in Montclair news, Jeffrey Grayson, an African-American man living in Montclair, was the victim of a seemingly unfounded noise complaint to the police over Memorial Day weekend. He was waxing his car when approached by a police officer who informed him that someone had complained about the volume of his music. However, Grayson reports that he was listening to music through headphones, which would make it inaudible to anyone around him. The police officer left without incident and no citation or warning was issued. Grayson wrote in a letter about the incident, quote, "These types of incidents, if not handled properly, can quickly spiral out of control and have dire consequences," end quote. Currently here at Montclair State, it is 66 degrees and partly cloudy. Expect a high of 76 and a low of 59 with cloudy skies and thunderstorms starting around 1 o'clock.
Geez, that last story was insane.
Yeah.
How do you it's a weird world that we live in where people just like, how do you even get to the point where someone makes that complaint?
I guess
It's so
I don't know.
bizarre. That's so
It's wild, and I wish it wasn't happening here or anywhere.
Yeah.
But
It's a little surprising it happened in Montclair because it seems like a pretty diverse town, you know?
Yeah, no, actually, Jeffrey Grayson was like talking about that in some of his quotes too, about how like he grew up in Montclair. He's from Montclair, and he's and it's like so diverse here.
Yeah, that's
and then someone called the cops on him.
It seems like a Sussex County kind of thing. I know you're from Michigan, so I'm not
true.
sure if you know Sussex County too much, but it's very hilly, a lot of not swell people there. There are good people, but there is a large amount of But yeah, Montclair, be better.
Yeah, be better.
Be better. All right. Thank you very much, Joe, for that. It was stellar, and I can't wait to hear you develop more throughout this summer buzz. But now let's talk some sports. I know you want to talk about some sports. Let's talk about it. New York was rocking last night as the Rangers dominated the Tampa Bay Lightning in the NHL Eastern Conference Finals. After a close first period score of 1-1, the Rangers would open the floodgates, outscoring the defending NHL champions 5-1. In the MLB, we're sticking to New York as well as the Mets beat the Nationals 5-0, led by J.D. Davis, who hammered 2 home runs in the game. That puts the Mets at a 35-17 record on the season. Ukraine is now officially set to square off with Wales in a World Cup qualifying match following a 3-1 win over Scotland. The Finalissima was last night, which was a game featuring the UEFA Euro 2020 champs. It's because of that. It's 2020 because of the pandemic. For some reason, they hate to change the year date. It's confusing, I know. Argentina, who won the 2021 Copa America as well, was in that game, as Argentina looks poised to make a serious run in the World Cup as they decimated Italy 3-0. The game was a reminder of the legend that is Lionel Messi, who was awarded man of the match and left the game with 2 assists. Now we head to the association, my personal favorite. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight as the Boston Celtics travel to San Francisco to take on the Golden State Warriors. As of now, ESPN's BPI has the Celtics as a 59.6% chance of taking Game 1, which is relatively surprising considering I don't know if Boston's going to take Game 1. And you know what, everyone? Who needs ESPN when you have Isaiah? So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen Game 1. The Golden State Warriors are going to win, and it's probably not going to be close. But game two, I think the Celtics are going to be a little nervous in game one. They haven't been here before, so I expect the Warriors to relatively cruise in game one. The rest of the series, I think it's up for grabs, and I'm low-key rooting for the Celtics. It's disgusting. But anyways, that has been your sports report here on the Morning Buzz. That's enough sports because I don't think, Joe, you want to talk about that anymore.
No, I'm not really a sports person.
Not
No.
a sports person. What? That's unheard of here on the Morning Buzz. Everyone loves sports. All right, guys. We sadly have some harder news to talk about here as the gun control conversation is going to continue because things like this continue to happen. Tragedy again has struck in the United States as 4 people were killed on Wednesday in a shooting at a Tulsa medical building. Tulsa Police Department Deputy Chief Eric Denglish confirmed the number of dead and said the shooter also died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It was unclear what prompted the deadly assault. The gunman carried both a handgun and a rifle during the attack, and police responded to the call 3 minutes after dispatchers received the report and made contact with the gunman 1 minute later. Police Captain Richard Molenberg also said multiple people were wounded and that the medical complex was a, quote, catastrophic scene. Meanwhile, the white man accused of killing 10 Black people in a racist attack on a Buffalo supermarket was indicted by a grand jury on Wednesday over a state domestic terrorism and hate crime charge that would carry a mandatory sentence of life in prison. He's scheduled to be arraigned Thursday on the new 25-count indictment. The 18-year-old now has been also charged with attempted murders of 3 people who were shot during the attack but survived and using a weapon while committing a felony. He has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors had told judge on May 20th the grand jury had voted to indict the man but did not disclose charges, saying the proceedings were ongoing. Whew. Joe, this is a rough one to start the morning.
Yeah.
When I saw this last night, I believe Apple News gave me the notification as I got home from the gym, and I was like, again, we're doing this again. Like, it feels, I think somehow the underrated part of COVID-19 is that everyone was locked inside their houses and couldn't do things like this. So it was nice to not have this constantly be part of the news cycle. But now, as things have clearly opened up completely again, we're at this point in time where this seems to be just an everyday occurrence again here in the United States.
Yeah. I think I got like, I lost like my my desensitization, and now like it's all like suddenly it's all shocking again.
Yeah.
It's all terrible, and I know that I'm going to become desensitized again, but it's awful that I even have to become desensitized in the first place.
It's just so, you're definitely right. And it's hard because, especially being in this role, we're reporting on all these pretty much every day, you know? So at a certain point, I, like you, have felt completely desensitized to hearing these stories. And it's so disappointing because when you sit down and realize, like, these are people losing their lives for no reason. And it's just one crazy human being who I don't even want to name these people on air because I don't think they deserve to be even mentioned just because of the acts that they've committed.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just hard knowing that all these lives are being lost. And sometimes it kind of just goes through your brain and then you're on to the next thought.
Yeah, because at some point you have to move on, and you can't stay on one thing forever, but it's just awful.
And this one is even worse because it was in a hospital too.
Yeah.
It's in a medical building.
Yeah, those like,
and I'm surprised because normally hospitals are pretty secure. You got to check in and all these things, and he was able to walk in with an assault rifle and a handgun. It seems like there's no security protocols within that building is definitely concerning. I didn't know you could just walk in like that. That's tough. It's very sad, and 4 people were lost for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, apparently.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, and then circling back to the Buffalo supermarket killing, I think how can you plead not guilty to that?
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought too. Like, how can you plead not guilty when you were caught?
You were not only were you caught, but you live streamed it.
Yeah,
on Twitch, the whole thing.
You're the one, you want it to be known that you did this, so how are you pleading not guilty?
Right? Like, I don't understand that is very confusing to me. Two, I would hate to be the lawyer that is forced to represent him,
Oh
because
yeah.
I feel at that point I would just phone it in and be like, well, I guess my career is done
Hmm.
for representing this guy. And I hope he does serve his life in prison.
Me
I
too.
hope he has the worst time in prison. I might be a little bold here, but I hope he gets some action to him in the prison building as well, because what he did was absolutely terrible, and
Yeah.
it should never happen anywhere, not in the United States, not in Europe, not in Africa, not in anywhere. That is just unnecessary killing for no reason. I hope you live a terrible and brutal life, and I hope the constant scars of that moment are left in your brain until your last breath. Thank you
Get
very much.
get him.
Get him,
Get
man.
him.
Get him. All right. So we're gonna move on from this story, and hopefully the next week we won't have to report on something like that. Hopefully our government will be able to step in at some point, but that's not likely. Anyways, for Ukraine, we got some new aid reports as the US and Germany pledged to equip Ukraine with some of the advanced weapons they had been requesting for quite some time. The weapons are made to shoot down aircrafts and knock out artillery. The move was made as Russian forces closed in on capturing a key city in the east of Ukraine. Germany said it will supply Ukraine with up-to-date anti-aircraft missiles and radar systems, while the US announced it will provide 4 sophisticated medium-range rocket systems and ammunition. The Pentagon said it received assurances that Ukraine will not fire the new rockets into Russian territory, and the Kremlin responded to the move by accusing the US of pouring fuel on the fire. Western arms have been critical to Ukraine's success in holding off Russia's much larger and better equipped military, preventing them from capturing Kyiv and forcing Russia to shift its focus to the industrial Donbas region of the east. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has repeatedly pleaded, wow, that's a tough phrasing, Isaiah, be better, for more better weapons, and accused the West of moving too slowly. The head of Ukrainian president's office hailed the new Western weapons as well. Military analysts say Russia is hoping to overrun the Donbas before any weapons may come in to turn the tide. It will be at least 3 weeks to get the precision U.S. weapons and trained troops onto battlefield, according to the Pentagon. But Defense Undersecretary Colin Call said he believes that they will arrive in time to make a difference in the fight. The rocket systems are part of a new $700 million package of security assistance for Ukraine from the US that also includes helicopters, Javelin anti-tank weapon systems, radars, tactical vehicles, spare parts, and more. Whew. That was a lot of words, but Joe, it's interesting to see, much like what we were talking about earlier, where this situation has very much, I think, been desensitized for a large amount of Americans and probably people around the world as well, because this was 24/7 news cycle before, right?
Yeah.
Every time you open Twitter, every time you go to CNN, ABC, whatever news cycle you were or news company you were looking at, that was the front page headline. And now I think we're well over 3 months into this at this point, and now it's kind of just, oh, that happened.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But these people are still going through the same amount of things.
They are really.
Like, their life hasn't changed. We've just decided to move on, I think. And it's definitely interesting to see how this continues to develop, because this is very important. And it's interesting that I haven't heard, I know for a while there's a lot of peace talks going on and a lot of conversation between the president of Ukraine and Russian officials. And now it seems, at least from what I know, is that nothing is really being talked about. And this has gone back to just pure fighting each other.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with it a lot since the beginning, just because I feel a lot of the time like there's a lot of news bombarding me and I need to take a step back for my own sanity.
Yeah.
But it does just seem like a lot of fighting, and obviously, I don't want Russia to forcibly overtake Ukraine, but there's so much fighting, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not saying that Ukraine doesn't shouldn't fight back. I think that they should, but it's just so much
Yeah,
all at
it's
once.
another forcefully unnecessary amount of fighting that didn't need to happen at all.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, I think obviously Ukraine, peaceful society. No one was expecting to be attacked by anyone at that point. Um, and the same thing, I think people forget that not everyone in Russia is on the same side as Russia, if you know what I
Oh
mean.
yeah, definitely not.
And I think a lot of people are confusing that again, which it was kind of like the same mindset when the US invaded the Middle East, where everyone was saying all the Middle East are terrorists. Well, no, there are terrorist organizations within that region, but a lot of those people are genuinely nice human beings that just so happen to live there.
Yeah, there's not countries that are like, oh, they're all terrorists. No,
Exactly.
there's some terrorists, but mostly there's just regular
Mhm.
people.
And then it's a tough situation because, you know, as the world continues to put these kind of financial hardships on Russia, we hope to see that they slow down the attacks, that they maybe draw out of the war, but it seems like that hasn't worked to the best effect yet. So we'll
No.
see if continued financial attacks on the country will kind of change their outlook, but it seems like they're committed to trying to overtake Ukraine. And I will say it's been quite an interesting thing to see as Ukraine has been able to hold off Russia for as long as it has.
Yeah.
And hopefully with these weapons, they can continue to do that because it really is like an inspiring story. If you could find a silver lining within here, is how resilient that community really was and that they are being able to do this.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will end tomorrow and we can say Ukraine is back to developing. I don't think that's going to happen, but hopefully one day.
One can hope.
One can hope, Joe. Well, we are going to take a quick break here on the Morning Buzz. And when we come back, we got some more things to talk about. Perhaps Johnny Depp. Wow. Is it finally over? Joe, is it finally over?
Maybe.
Maybe?
You'll find out.
Maybe.
Soon, in a
Hold
few
on.
minutes.
I got to
Maybe.
do the clickies.
It might be over.
It might be. What a teaser.
Montclair with Kelly Marr and Sal DiMaggio.
We keep it upbeat and positive to brighten your day.
Sal DiMaggio has quite the deep voice here on WMSC 90.3 for Montclair. Every time I hear his voice, I'm like, good Lord, that man's voice is so deep. Joe, we're back here on the Morning Buzz. It's Thursday. It's going to be a rainy one today, I'm thinking, as you mentioned, thunderstorms. Speaking of that, so over by me, the thunderstorms were insane last night. And was it the same way for Montclair?
I know it rained out here, but I don't recall seeing any lightning or any thunder before I went to bed, and I went to bed kind of late. So
wow.
I don't think there was a lot.
It was insane. So in Morris County, which it's like a 40-ish hour away, it was so loud and it felt like I was in a tropical environment because the way it was like lightning, thunder, thunder. It was crazy. And it kept me up. No, I'm kidding. It was definitely annoying to see because my blinds, I don't have like curtains. I have the little
oh
twisties.
yeah, me too.
So I saw literally every lightning. I was like, can we relax, please? I'm trying to make this script for this show. And speaking of the show, we got some more news to talk about. Perhaps we're going to talk about Johnny Depp. Listen, before we get into this story has absolutely taken the lives of everyone that works at home. like this story, everyone that works from home has been probably having this in the background nonstop. People on Twitter have been talking about it, and I am so happy that we finally have results here, Joe. Are you familiar with the situation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
I am.
You are?
My roommate would watch like a lawyer analyzing every single day individually.
Good Lord. This, I mean, Amber, I've learned a lot of things about Amber Heard that were very disgusting, and I really wish I could talk about, but because it's hilarious, but also disgusting. But I can't get into too many details about that. Just remember, wash your sheets, everybody, as a jury sided with Johnny Depp and his libel lawsuit against his ex-wife, Amber Heard, the pirate actor. Yes, the one and only pirate actor was awarded more than $10 million and vindicated his allegations that Heard lied about Depp abusing her before and during their marriage. In a split decision, the jury also found that Heard was defamed by one of Depp's lawyers, who accused her of creating a detailed hoax that included roughing up the couple's apartment to look worse for police. The jury awarded her $2 million. The verdict brings an end to a televised trial that Depp had hoped to restore his reputation. The trial took over the minds of all the people from working from home. As I mentioned a little earlier, got a little excited. Heard said she was heartbroken with the results of the trial. Quote, "I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It's a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously." Depp, who was not in court on Wednesday, said, quote, "The jury gave my life back, and I'm truly humbled. I hope that my quest to find the truth be told will help others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and those supporting them never give up." He said those statements, obviously, on Instagram. Depp sued Heard for libel in Fairfax County Circuit Court over a December 2018 op-ed, as she wrote for the Washington Post, describing herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. His lawyer said he was defamed by the article, even though it never mentioned his name. And the jury found in Depp's favor on all three of his claims relating to the specific statements in the 2018 piece. Finally, we're done. Woo! Joe, this is exciting. But I'm glad it's over. Let's talk about a little what happened here. I find Amber Heard's quote to be very problematic because this whole trial really it made her look absolutely terrible to the public opinion, and obviously the court ruled the same way. But to accuse someone of those things and then to be apparently be found lying about it for the most part, right?
I believe
it's so concerning because I don't know, that's a big accusation to accuse of someone. And Depp really, like, his career was done. Obviously, he had money in the bank, so he's probably going to be fine. But his career, for the most, like, he lost all his sponsors, all his movies were out the window, and then for it to kind of just not have much substance to go along with it that's a horrible thing to accuse someone of. And the whole trial, I just kept saying, this lady's insane.
Oh, definitely. It's wild, some of the things that she did. And I think what's kind of particularly disgusting is that she does call back in that quote to like women who are like, oh, she's just saying that to ruin somebody's career. And I feel like she's actually she's sort of like not even honoring what those women went through, because she is just saying those things to ruin his career. So she's using that for her own game.
100%. And this is so sad for people that are actually victims of domestic violence or domestic abuse, because that is a tough thing to even say, to like say I was a victim of this. And for her to kind of just do this and then to make all these things up, and then people are starting to realize that none of this was even real. Even for me, when I first heard this story in 2018, I just assumed like that's a weird thing to lie about. And so I was like, Johnny Depp's not a good human being.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people were like, oh yeah, I guess Johnny Depp is a bad guy. And now to have this all come out that it was pretty much all lies is just like that's what people can do.
Like, an accusation means so much, especially now. Like, if you're accused of anything, most people are gonna assume you probably did it.
Yeah.
And then this is, I don't know, this is a rough one. And congrats to Johnny Depp for kind of clearing his name. I'm interested to see where his career goes from now. Is he going to be back in the acting world? Is he just going to disappear? Because, he got a nice little check coming in.
He
$10
does, he
million.
does.
I wonder if that is going to go to the hospital or something. Wasn't she, Amber Heard, supposed to like donate money to a charity and then it never went to charity because she
I'm
pledged it?
I think I heard something about that, but I
Yeah.
don't recall exactly.
I don't think it was a hospital. Maybe it was an organization. Either way, it's exciting to hear this is over. What are your predictions for Johnny Depp before we go to another break?
I don't know, because I feel like if I was him, I might just want to lay low. I've been like, oh well, I had enough excitement.
Yeah,
Time to
I feel
disappear.
you.
But
I'd be like, I'm gonna go to an island, start a farm, disappear
he's
forever.
going to become a pirate
He literally
in real
should.
life.
That I think that was the worst result about this ending, is I was looking on Twitter and everyone's like, oh, I bet you Amber Heard will never forget the name of Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm like, shut up, man. Like, that's everyone is making the same joke here and they all think, oh, I'm so creative. Like, listen, homie, all right, that is writing on the wall. Like, no, everyone could have made that joke, all right?
And everyone did make that joke, apparently.
Apparently, Joe, they wouldn't stop. I scroll, same joke. Scroll again, same joke. Joe, I'm sick and tired of this. Sick and tired of it. But now we're going to take a break. We're going to play some music. And when we come back, we got some more juicy stories to talk about here on the Morning Buzz. Let's see if the world wants to work with me. Otherwise, we're going to play a random song. Nice. And that was I Want You Around by Snow Allegra. Great song, everyone. We were relaxed and we were vibing. We were thinking it was 8 p.m. Well, that's a little early. We were thinking it was like 2 a.m. in the morning driving down an interstate highway or something. Joe, we are back here on the Morning Buzz. It's the Thursday edition, and you're probably wondering, where is our friend Terry?
I have been wondering that.
I have been wondering that. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do an on-air call with our friend Terry and see if she picks up. But first, let's get into a story. Let's see what's popping. I'm assuming Terry is probably in the void somewhere. We don't know where. She's lost in the void, and we are going to find her here exclusively on the Morning Buzz. Anyways, listen, I saw this story last night, and I almost died. I almost cried. I almost panicked because this thing is a nightmare for anyone. First off, Joe, do you like roller coasters?
I don't actually have a lot of roller coaster experience. I've been on like one roller coaster that did loops that were like sideways.
Ooh.
I've never been on one that went fully upside down yet.
Joe, disgusting. I hate it. Okay, here's the thing. I absolutely hate roller coasters. I think they should be banished. They should be outlawed. And I think that they are a form of domestic terrorism. No, I cannot stand roller coasters. I'm like, if someone takes me to an amusement park, I will happily eat a corn dog or something and just chill on a bench, enjoy the nice breeze or something. I will not step foot in a line to a roller coaster. You will have to drug me, blind me, and then throw me onto a roller coaster to get me on a roller coaster. But these people, they like roller coasters. And you know what? I think low-key, this is something you sign up for as soon as you enter this line. As passengers on a Pennsylvania amusement park ride were left suspended upside down in the air due to a mid-ride malfunction. That's right, the fancy Aero 360 ride. It don't work no good, man. And I'm going to show you a quick video. I'm sorry, radio listeners or iHeartRadio listeners. Looks like you'll have to tune into our Facebook live stream or catch the replay on YouTube. So we are going to watch this together, Joe, because this is exciting content that needs to be seen across the world. And maybe I'll do a nice little play-by-play demonstration as I attempt to operate the thing known as Zoom. Let's see. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me hit this little button. All right, cool. Look at these poor souls just stuck up there on a nice little yellow ride with yellow seats, and then they're stuck up midair. Get out of here, Kim Gable and Ken Rice. No one cares about you unless you want to hire me. I'm kidding. I'm
pretty sure I have been on something like that before.
Really?
Though. Yeah.
Ooh.
I've been on upside down rides. I've never been on an upside down coaster.
Stop it. This upside down ride stuff is just so scary to me, because what if it falls, what if you know what? I would go on a ride if it's like 1 mile per hour, like a kiddie ride,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like the horses that go in a circle. That's a little too fast for me as well. I don't like it. What is that thing called?
A carousel?
Carousel. Yes. Not the horsey circle. Anyways. So after seeing that, would you want to go on one of those rides?
Yeah, probably.
Joe, you experiment with life too much.
I'm like a little bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Just a small tad.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk more about this story really quickly. So Kennywood general manager Mark Pauls, which is Kennywood is the ride place, maintenance staff responded quickly and brought the ride back to its designated rest position, safely evacuated the riders. Paul said the 3 riders visited the first aid center as a precaution before returning to the park, as the ride will also remain closed while a review is conducted, which isn't surprising considering people were upside down. They were not up north. They were upside down. I don't know what up north
I don't know what that means either.
So Sal poses the question, what about Ferris wheels? And I say, Sal, thank you, Mr. Deep Voice. I think Ferris wheels are just as bad as any other roller coaster.
Really?
I just imagine, here's
That's
the thing.
like the chillest ride in the amusement
Nah,
park. You
bro.
just sit on a seat and it
Listen
goes
to
in a
this.
circle.
Listen to this. When I imagine a Ferris wheel, I pictured this scenario because this is how my mind operates. I assume something is going to come out of the ocean, grab the Ferris wheel, and throw it. And I'm just stuck there. Like, I think it's Godzilla end of days scenario as soon as I enter a Ferris wheel.
I mean, you realize that like if you're like driving along the coast.
Stop it, Joe. I just got used to driving. No, I don't know what it is about Ferris wheels too. Maybe it's I don't know if you remember the scene. I think it was Zombieland.
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
one.
okay. So there's a movie called Zombieland, and is Emma Stone in it? Emma Stone in the
I love Emma Stone though.
yeah, insert generic white nerdy guy, and I think that's who the star of that movie is. Woody Harrelson's in it. Anyways, so they're on this Ferris wheel, and then part of the scene is that they get stuck on it. But then, oh, was it a Ferris wheel? Wow, this transition's going all over the place. Here's what I imagine: Ferris wheel. It's either Godzilla or zombies are trying to eat me. In which case, I ain't going on no Ferris wheel. In conclusion, Ferris wheels are bad. That's been my roller coaster TED Talk. Thank you all for listening. This has been an interesting experiment. All right, here is what we're gonna try, everybody. So, Terry, we appreciate you, Terry. We love you on the show. You're a great person, swell to be around, but you have not responded to me, and I am now angry. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna call you on air and see what happens. Joe, predictions. You think she's gonna answer?
I'm gonna predict no.
No.
Because
Okay.
I think if she's not responding to texts,
Exactly.
then she's probably not gonna answer. And if she slept through an alarm, then she's probably gonna sleep through a phone call.
Absolutely.
That's my prediction.
Yeah, my prediction as well, Joe. No one answers, or maybe her phone is dead. This is what we're gonna find out. Here we go, everyone.
Here we go.
It's on speaker. Hopefully that's coming through the mic.
Yeah, I think I can hear it in my ear.
Okay, nice little buzz tone.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions coming in. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna answer, guys. Terry hates us, Joe.
Oh my god.
That's so sad. I can't believe Terry actually hates us. Well, Terry, hope to be hearing from my lawyer soon because I'm suing you.
Defamation lawsuit. Give me $10 million.
Look, yeah, that might be the plan to get me through the rest of this school year. Kidding, obviously. Terry, we'll see you next week. But we have some more things to talk about. Maybe we'll listen to one more song. But Joe, sometimes schools really are petty.
Oh, I agree. I as someone who went to a school and goes to a school, I agree.
You do to school?
Yeah. I go to school actually.
So, a 78-year-old whose name is Ted Sams can finally call himself a graduate along with the rest of 2022 Southern California San Gabriel High School. Congrats to you, 78-year-old Ted Sams. Well, back in 1962, when he was a high school senior, Sams got in trouble and was suspended not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 days before the end of the school year. He said he missed a crucial final exam and had to make it up over the summer. When he went back with all his grades in order, they wouldn't give him his diploma. What? When he asked officials why could this be? And they said, well, it's because you owe us $4.80 for a book that was past overdue. So he decided, nah, I'm good, and then just walked away. The school still had Sam's original diploma locked away in an old filing cabinet. He beamed as he walked across the graduation stage at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena and received the diploma. Quote, over the years, I complained to my kids a number of times about how $4.80 kept me from having my diploma. Sam said he plans on hanging up the diploma on the wall at his home. Wow. That school is so petty.
Yeah.
$4.80 for a high schooler. Come on, man. For a high schooler?
For a high schooler. And this was 6 decades ago. So $4.80 was worth more.
Bro, for real. Okay, here's the thing about this. It's just I don't understand it. Like I get it. Bills have to get paid at some point. What if it's something as small as that? Can you really just prevent someone from aren't there enough parking tickets you've probably accumulated to pay for this man's book?
Yeah.
It's come on, schools. You're not a business. You're here to teach us. You're here to teach us, man. So yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm pretty sure. I think maybe, and don't quote me on this. I think maybe with my high school, what it was that if you had like fees or something, you couldn't walk. but
Mm,
you'd still graduated. You should
yeah.
also owe the school money.
I just feel like that's more. I don't know, just taking away someone's right to walk to for something. Now, if it was 18 books man's owed, I get it. But if it was one book,
Yeah.
$4.80, that seems. Come on, man. Like if I owe the lunch lady $1.20 for a chocolate milk, like I'm gonna let you graduate, man. It seems very just let's relax here. Let's
Let
relax.
it go a little.
A little bit.
It's been 6 decades. Let it go.
Let it go. And the fact that they held on to the diploma for that long too, for 60 years.
After like a few years, I'd have thrown it out.
Right? I would have been like, well, I don't think we really need it. I don't think he's coming to get it anytime
Like imagine
soon.
you're like a new worker at the school and you're like, hey, what's this that's in this box? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, put that back. That guy's got to
Put it back.
That guy owes us $4.80.
My thing is, imagine if this school was even more petty though. It's like every month he didn't pay the fee, it just kept increasing. Then it's like, hey guys, I'd really like my diploma. It's like, yeah, remember that $480? That's worth $6,000 now.
Give us $6,000. You have to, they're holding his diploma
else.
hostage.
They literally give him a ransom note. It's like, we will end the diploma if you don't pay us. And then it's like, we're gonna rip it. We will rip it right now if you don't pay us.
Holding up like a lighter.
It gets progressively crazy. Like they got gasoline on it now. They're like, test me, man. Test me. It's Ted Sams. That's hilarious. Anyways, we're going to move on to one more story before we head to a quick little break. So let's talk about some Meow Meow news.
Meow Meow news.
Meow Meow news. Speaking of schools, I want you to imagine something, Joe.
Okay.
And the rest of the people listening in. Picture a casual mountain lion chilling in a school.
Okay.
No subtle transition at all. Well, that surprisingly happened as a custodian safely confined that mountain lion in an empty classroom after it entered a Northern California high school on Wednesday morning. Quote, the mountain lion casually walked through campus and decided to go into an English classroom. The custodian acted quickly and managed to shut the door behind it. The superintendent of the school district said the mountain lion, which has been described as a cub, likely entered the classroom before school started, and there were no students in the classroom at the time. The sheriff's office confirmed Wednesday morning that all the students and staff were safe, adding that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service were notified for a safe and humane removal. The animal is estimated to be 40 pounds and appeared, quote, lost and scared. The incident occurred 2 days before the school's year was scheduled to end. Finals and a graduation ceremony were originally scheduled for Wednesday, but will likely be postponed. A spokesperson for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife told KRON that because of the cub's age and because it's possibly not in the best state of health, the agency doesn't know whether it can survive in the wild. Authorities said the cat would be transported into the Oakland Zoo. Veterinarians will evaluate its health and then take appropriate next steps. Well, that is very lucky timing. Could you imagine being the teacher? You're like, well, only a couple more days to go. You open your English classroom door and bam, mountain lion. Now, at least it was a cub, but just imagine seeing that.
That's
Woo!
wild. That poor janitor.
For real. Like he or she was just cleaning the whole time, relaxing, going through the halls, opens that door. He's like, nope, gonna close that. And I'm going home, everybody. There's a lion in this school, and I don't get paid enough to deal with it.
Oh yeah. I don't think anybody in that school got paid enough to deal with that.
Definitely not a school. What's crazy is custodians, I feel, don't really get the credit that they deserve.
No, you're so right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a job that requires a lot of gross kind of cleaning things, and things that students create throughout their lives are very disgusting sometimes. But they're the ones that keep schools in shape, in condition, maintain the cleanliness, and keep a safe environment for people to operate in. And I feel like, yeah, they don't get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Give custodians more credit.
Custodians need better rights, everybody.
True.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But this is at least the fish is getting an opportunity. Or the fish. Oh my God, not the fish. The mountain lion. At least he's going to get checked in on and see if he's got health problems or not, and whether or not. I'm wondering if they're gonna, say it's not in best condition to be in wildlife. Are they gonna put it in the zoo? Or are they just gonna make it pass away?
I'd like to hope they'd put it in the zoo.
I would hope so too.
Um,
Sometimes when I hear about these agencies or pet care places, they always just say, well, we don't have space, so I guess we'll have to let it go.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not the result.
There's a lot of zoos though, so hopefully
Yeah.
the cub will be taken care of.
Give this cub a home. He's only trying to get
mhm.
educated.
I do think it's really funny that it happened before finals started. I
Right.
would have been so happy.
You know what's crazy is here's conspiracy theory. Someone was about to fail that final. They knew how to get their hands on a mountain lion, set it into the school, and was like, job's done. I get an extra day to study, and we're gonna ace this final. That's my conspiracy theory of the day.
Imagine you're like, I need an extra day to cram instead of like calling in sick or or
Well, sometimes final dates, are final. You can't really schedule a makeup day. So what if this was back against the wall, last resort, mountain lion? That's my thought process. Study? No. Look at the book? No. Release mountain lion?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely 100%.
Absolutely. That's
10
the
out of 10
only
times,
logical thing to do.
mountain lion.
Only logic here on the Morning Buzz. Anyways, guys, we are going to play one more song. When we come back, we're going to talk about Las Vegas, Elvis, weddings, sand. Think of one just a random word you can think of, Joe. Joe, I need an answer. Clocks. We're talking about clocks here in the Morning Buzz. This is gonna be For You by Levara. And we are back here on the Morning Buzz on WMSC 90.3 Upper Montclair. That was Leigh Barra, everyone, from the good old city of Toronto. Kind of Toronto. Anyways, we're back here. It's me and Joe. It's the Isaiah and Joe show. Joe and Isaiah show.
Yep.
We have an update, everybody. Here is the closest I could find to a breaking news sound. That's right. We have been on Terry watch for nonstop for the past hour. We thought, 1, maybe she's in the void. 2, maybe she overslept.
Yep.
3, she is now in Canada. We have an update, everybody. Terry has officially quit the Morning Buzz. Nah, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna be back next week, guys. She had an incident with her little cousin. So T's and P's to the little cousin. We hope they feel better, and we appreciate you, Terry.
Yeah.
Good luck out there in the world, and very unfortunate for that little rascal. You know how kids can be these days, Joe.
I do.
Yeah. Speaking of, honestly, I have no transition here. We can't really talk about that to here.
Well, it's heartbreaking that Terry's not here.
You did. Joe's making big time transitions now. She's officially the producer of the show. I quit. So, in Vegas, the licensing company that controls the name and image of Elvis, aka the King, is ordering Sin City Chapel operators to stop using Elvis in themed ceremonies. Authentic Brand Group sent a cease and desist letters in early May to multiple chapels, which are expected to be compliant by now. With Elvis so closely tied to Vegas and the wedding industry, some say the move could decimate their businesses. Kayla Collins, who operates, get ready for this, Las Vegas Elvis Wedding Chapel.com and Little Chapel of Hearts with her husband said, quote, "We are a family-run business, and now we're hanging with the big dogs. That's our bread and butter. I don't get it. We were just hitting our stride again through COVID. Then this happened." Clark County Clerk Lynn Goya, not to be confused with the Goya Bean Company that supplies me with a lot of products to make my food, who led the marketing campaign promoting Las Vegas as a wedding destination, said, the order for Chapel to stop using Elvis couldn't have come at a worse time for the sector. The city's wedding industry generates $2 million a year, and officials say the Elvis-themed wedding represents a significant number of the ceremonies performed.
No.
What's crazy? That was like I always surprised at the radio reads where the people reads like the ingredients of whatever medicine, and it's always these things will provide, like they say all the things that could kill you within the medicine.
Yeah.
They say it so fast. I felt like I accomplished something right there.
No, yeah, you were really going.
Or I was like one of those auctioneers, like $1, $2, $3, $17, 13 bid. I never know what those people are saying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you really got to listen to it, and I am not good at I'm not good at I'm not good at hearing people when they talk fast, but the problem with that is that I also talk fast.
Oh, so you're just constantly in a state of confusion.
Absolutely.
You're like, what are the words happening now? This is definitely interesting though.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on weddings?
I enjoy weddings, I'd say. I haven't been to all that many, but I can enjoy a wedding, if they serve good food at the reception,
Have you ever thought like growing up, did you ever think about having like a big wedding to you, or are you more just a small wedding, or is it no wedding?
I think I'd like kind of like a small to medium sized wedding, like the people I really care about, but still a celebration of me and whoever I choose to be with.
Here's my thing about weddings though. Like the stereotypical wedding, at least, is where they have it's so much money
That's true.
for one day. And I just think if I were to be in that scenario, right? And it was a wedding, I don't know if I would want one of those kind of big wedding ceremonies at a church or something. Everyone's got to have all these things going on, and there's like thousands of dollars. Oh, that just violates my body saying that out loud. Thousands of dollars on this one event, which really seems more stressful than anything else to get this job
That's
done.
true.
And to me, I would rather just throw like very close to knit people, very close to me, and we go somewhere nice. There's like a mini ceremony. It's like, by the way, these two are married now, y'all. enjoy this vacation. I would rather just have like a family and friend vacation thing going on, and it just so happens to be celebrating like my marriage. You know,
Yeah, that sounds
I feel like
lovely.
that's more fun for everyone involved because one, it's just everyone's enjoying like a few days together rather than just one event full of stress and chaos. And then this thing didn't happen this way, so then this didn't happen, and then this is bad, and then someone gets cold feet. The wedding is banned for life. This family hates that family. You know, let's just relax in like Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's okay. Let's stay on the topic of, I guess, weddings in a sense. Something that I find to be one of the cringiest things in human history is a public proposal. What do you think about public proposals?
I think okay. It depends on the situation because
Okay.
I think like a completely surprise public proposal, like you've never talked about getting married before, you've
Okay.
never discussed it. I think you shouldn't do that because that puts a lot of pressure on the person. But if you've talked about getting married before, if you've been like, this is a thing that we think we want to do at some point, and you're like that, you know, you're not putting pressure on them to say yes because you've already discussed it beforehand, then I think it can be really sweet.
Okay. So okay. What do you think is an ideal place for a public proposal then?
Probably somewhere for this is me personally.
Okay.
Because I'd like to propose. I would want to pick somewhere that we have a lot of memories around, somewhere we've been before.
Okay.
My stepdad proposed to my mom, I think maybe where they had their first date. I don't entirely remember. I can get clarification on that later, but like a place that I think was important to them. You know, I think that could be really sweet.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice then. At least my thing is this. When it comes to public proposals, is I always see these videos and it's in the most random place possible. Like Times Square where there's thousands of people. It's constantly packed. And then this person gets down and the girl is just like, oh, I don't really know. I feel like I'm getting pressured here, but I'm gonna say no kind of deal. I'm like, bro, you could have saved yourself from this awkward moment of you just on your knee. And it's just, once again, I feel like maybe if you had these conversations where the person you're proposing to absolutely knows at any point you're getting proposed to, like that is cool. As long as they know it's happening. And for the most part, you should know they're going to say yes before you ask this question.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying.
Like most people know before asking, I would hope that they expect the other person to say yes. For someone to say no, I feel like there's probably a couple warning signs before where it's maybe she's gonna say no. Like you bring that conversation up randomly at a dinner and be like, are you interested in getting married or something? And then they're like, no, I'm not ready for it. Then guess what, person? Don't propose to them on the spot in some random place where everyone's just watching. You got people recording you. Oh my God, Disney World or Disneyland proposals are hilarious. Because they never work out. I've never seen a successful Disneyland proposal in my lifetime.
Maybe they only post the ones that go wrong.
True. No one on the internet likes to see a success story.
That's true.
Yeah. But that's been my rant on proposals. One day, Jo, I hope it happens for you.
Thank you.
Please do not do it at Disneyland.
I won't.
Thank you. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, people across the world, whoever's listening here on the Morning Buzz and WMSC 90.3 Upper Montclair, that's been our show. That's been the Thursday show. Tomorrow is going to be a highlight show. Next week, we're going to have Terry back unless her cousin has more problems, in which case Terry will never be on the show again.
Dang.
Kidding, Terry. We'll see you next week. We'll see y'all next week as well. Jo, any final advice you want to give to the people? Clocks?
Yeah, clocks. Also communicate with your partner.
Yeah, you heard it here, guys. Later.
You're listening to WMSC